every single one of us is motivated by things, and each of the core types, there are 4 core types, and I'll just give you a really brief introduction here. So core is an acronym, and C's are motivated by comfort and connection. Carrie is a C, and C's want things in their lives to be comfortable. Almost everything they do trying to create comfort for themselves and others, and trying to avoid discomfort. And so things that make C's uncomfortable, which might be like being on a stage, right? Or talking to somebody about network marketing, or asking somebody to sign up, or all of those kinds of things are really uncomfortable. And so if you're a C, that's a big ask unless you know how to do it in a C way. O stands for optimism. And those of you who are O's or those of us, because I'm a primary O, are motivated by fun. O's see the possibility in people and things, and O's live in the present, and it is really important that O's be enjoying themselves, that the emotional environment be enjoyable. Where C's want the emotional environment to be comfortable, O's want it to be enjoyable. They want to be having a good time, and they want everybody to be having a good time. And R stands for resolution. R's are the movers and the shakers among us. They get things done. R's are really good at moving things forward, creating movement, and pushing things along. And E stands for exactness. And those of you who are E's are motivated by improving things. The E brain naturally looks at anything and sees how it could be better. And it doesn't matter whether it's how to load the dishwasher or how to do the laundry, how to go from point A to point B. If the E brain is thinking, it's thinking about how to make something better. So E's really bring quality to life, and are motivated by excellence. And so that underlying motivation that drives what we do is not alterable. You can change your behavior. You can even change how you interpret things, but you cannot change your temperament. And that's actually really good news, because any of you who, like Carrie was describing, has felt that you had to change who you were, and those of you that have a few gray hairs like myself have probably hit your heads against those immovable walls for a day or two, and found out that it doesn't change, and it doesn't change because it's not broken. And so what core helps us do, and what we're going to help you do in this program, is to learn how to work with who you are, to work with your unique strengths, so that you can bring those strengths to the table, bring them to your teams and to your families and to your lives. Core helps us understand the strengths that we uniquely contribute. Every single temperament, the strengths that Dave brings to all of your lives and to his family are very different than the strengths that Carrie brings to their family. And the strengths that I bring are different to either of their strengths. And so that's one of the things that I'm super passionate about, is helping you see the tremendously unique and wonderful value that you each have. Core also helps us understand ourselves and others by getting to the core of those motivations. Each core type brings something unique that can help you maximize your team. You're going to learn how to motivate, how to lead, how to plan, how to really tap into who you are. I believe, unlike any other tool that has helped you, because one of the reasons why I developed Core in the first place was because over I've now been doing this for 26 years, and over the about 20 years at the time that I started doing this, I had been exposed to all the same models that you've been exposed to, core and the Enneagram and the MMPI and the DISC, and there's some great models out there, but I had never seen one that was really indicative of the things that I saw day in and day out working with people, or they were so complicated and hassle, and such a hassle that they weren't very user friendly for a lot of people. And one of the things, many of you are probably familiar with the color code. There is no E in the color code. In order to get the E, you have to combine a couple of the other ones, and E's exist. There are people who are uniquely driven by improving things, and that is, Dave, were you going to say something?
Yeah, can I just ask you a question
Yeah.
here? Or have you elaborate on this? Because I think this is one of the big things that I see as far as this course that we're going to be going through is really going to help and maximize. I'm noticing some people, and I'm not judging the people in there because they may know, they may have taken your course already or read your book, but some people already label themselves as an O or an E or a C or whatever. And how many people would you say there's a percentage of people that think they're an O? And maybe Carrie, she kind of alluded to it like, no, I'm not that. I'm this because that seems more desirable, but our subconscious is really keeping us in this place. But the big aha is realizing, oh my gosh, I wasn't a O. I was a total C or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
happen a lot where that aha, and then they can start to really work with that because you couldn't really address the cause and effect without knowing that. And the program really helps you to discover, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah, totally.
Does that happen?
Thanks for bringing that up. That's a really good point, because, and it's interesting. Almost everybody that I work with, when they first find out what their primary temperament is, wishes it was something else. And the reason for that is because we've hit our heads against our weaknesses for so long. And so we tend to kind of glorify or aggrandize the strengths of other people, because most of what we see in other people, unless we're really close to them, we see people's strengths because that's what's going on in their lives. And we see our weaknesses because we hit our heads against them day in and day out. And so, yeah, almost everybody, actually, with the exception of ours, which is kind of interesting. Ours are typically happy that they're ours. but for those of us who are C's and O's and E's, initially at least, almost always wish that we were, and I don't think I'm betraying any trust here. Carrie already alluded to it, but when Carrie first started learning about core, she did not want to be a C. And we actually had several conversations where I just said, oh, okay, if you think you're something else, that's okay. But her C-ness, and any of you that are somewhat familiar with the model know that Carrie's C-ness is, I don't even know, she has a little bit of secondary E, but she's almost a pure blood. I mean, she is C. And it took her a bit to realize that. And that's the case for most of us. And so yeah, so
I
I
just
don't
want to
know.
say here, this is what we're really, at least what I'm really excited about, is for people to be able to get unstuck by discovering that through your program, because
Yes.
that's primarily what it does. You're designed, because even in the Growth You, they talk about the color code, but they don't get into it in a way that you discover, oh, I wasn't that. You could come out of that program thinking you're still that when you really aren't. And that's the big breakthroughs that we can have, because then we start to really grow and prosper. And I'll let you finish what you have prepared.
Yeah, Emma, you you can't hear?
I can hear you. We can.
Okay, thank you. I just couldn't
Oh,
unmute. You've got a question in the chat, and it's a really good one. So Leah Perry asked, can one seem predominant as a result of the actual temperament being suppressed through conditioning and environment, or like tend to prefer another one because we have been taught that that one is a weakness?
oh, such a good question.
And
Yeah,
let me just, if you're
absolutely.
ready to answer that now, Dr. Slade, I know we're going to have a question and answer, and I want you to get through your information. So if we want to
Yeah.
put that off till the end, or if you feel like it fits now, whatever.
I can answer that now.
You guys
Yeah,
hold the rest of the questions till the end.
The short answer is yes. You can, in fact, most of us, and I would bet that, and Dave, you can confirm or deny this, but I would bet in this industry especially, I'll bet many of you are parading around as something other than what you are. Because you probably you look at the people that have succeeded, and you probably think that that's what you've got to do to succeed. And in your families and in our society, we're bombarded with so many messages that are like, this is what you have to be. The self-help industry is replete with messages that to succeed, you've got to be this. And whether it's as simple as, to be attractive, you've got to look like this, or to make a lot of money, you've got to be like this. And so, yeah, a lot of people are pretty disconnected from who they really are. And what I would love for you to do between now and the time that we get started in the program in a couple of weeks here, is to really pay attention to why you do the things that you do. When you get up in the morning, whether you go to exercise or not, why do you decide to go, or why do you not decide to go? If somebody texts you, why do you decide to answer the text or not? If you're inviting somebody to join your team, what's going through your mind, and what are the reasons, or why do you do it, or why do you not do it? Start really paying attention to the underlying whys of why you do what you do. That's a great question. Thank you. Okay. Let's go here. So Carrie actually kind of did this information, but Dave and I have been talking, and Carrie and I have been working for years, and really our whole team at Healthy and Happy, at our core program, have really had you in mind for many years. Again, because some of the unique challenges that you face, and the really kind of special and unique contributions that this model can make for you. And this program that we've developed is the result of these efforts that we've put forth. And Emma, I'm just going to take a second to introduce Emma that jumped on. Emma is our marketing director, and is absolutely fantastic. And many of you hopefully will have an opportunity to interact a little bit with her, and you'll see her wonderfulness. She is an RE, and brings those wonderful strengths to the table. So how can CORE help Isagenix? I do want to take just a second here, and I want you to either think about it, write it down, put it in the chat. Just so far, what are things and ways that you think that CORE can help you in your life, and help Isagenix move forward? I'm going to give you a second to write. All right, let me give you the centerpiece of how this can help. Happy people who are enabled to approach their job from a place of strength and confidence will be more successful. That is the crux of how this is going to help you. It's going to empower you and enable you to approach your life, your team, your parenting, your partnering, your leading, your following from a place of strength and confidence. And if you incorporate these things in, I promise you, I guarantee you that you're going to be more successful. You can't not be.
That was something that if I can just interject right there, that as I've been thinking about this and how excited I am, I'm literally having a hard time sleeping at times as I think about this. That authentic self disappears when you try to be somebody else and behave like somebody else primarily. And the less authentic we are, the less the connections are, right? and then the less the self-esteem, just like what you were saying. It was a big aha that I had based on how you bring the authentic self out of people, which is exciting. That's super exciting that you're going to be able to tap into that, you guys, and gain that self-esteem and become authentic in your way. Pretty powerful.
Totally, because you're never going to be as effective at being somebody else as you are at being you. Even if you're a really good actor or actress, you're never going to be able to be as good at being Dave as you are at being you. And you don't need to be. That's the really cool thing, is you don't need to be. What you bring to the table is absolutely enough. And we just have to learn how to do that in effective ways. And there is some really good research in some of the information that you'll get as you sign up. You'll see some statistics on this, but really happy people do better in their businesses. And there's some good research that supports that. So if these were some of the things that you thought or wrote down a second ago, then you're thinking along the right kind of way here. If you've been making effort and doing things that seem to work for others, but they don't seem to work for you, this program is a good fit. If you want new tools to help figure out how to get paid and how to get your people paid, this is a good program. I want to share just a personal story here. I have my doctorate from Ohio State, and it's in human development and family science. And after my doctorate, after I graduated, I bought a shipping company, which makes a lot of sense. But I bought a third-party logistics company in Texas, and so we moved to Texas, and I ran that business for 10 years. And I'm an O, and O's struggle with a couple of things really predictably. O's struggle with negative emotion because we want things to be happy and to feel good all the time. And O's struggle a little bit with details. And getting paid when you're a business owner is a really important detail. And I was so consumed with the parts of the business that I was good at and building my business that I neglected for months my accounts receivable. And I almost went out of business about 2 years into my shipping business because my accounts receivable were so out of whack. And I had people that owed me so much money, and they were more than happy to let me be their bank. But I didn't have the pockets of a bank. And so this is one of the things that I really had to learn. And when you have to do something, when healthy is something that doesn't come naturally to who you are, who your temperament is, then you can develop a skill, a process, or a partnership, because you can't just say, oh, well, I'm an O and I'm not good at that, so I'm not going to collect any money, right? You still have to do the things that are necessary to be successful. And but you don't have to do them. I didn't have to collect money like an R would collect money or like an E would collect money, but I did have to collect money. And so you can develop a skill or a process or a partnership. And so what I did is I hired somebody that was really good at collections, and it really helped to save and turn my business around. And so this is a really great thing that you'll get that will be helpful. If you've recognized that what drives and motivates you doesn't necessarily motivate the members of your team, then this is going to be helpful, and you're in the right place. If you want to learn how to help the members of your team reach their full potential, I think a lot of people that are in this business are in the people business, and you're doing this because you want to bless people's lives and you want to help people be successful in their lives, and helping them understand what their core temperament is and helping them learn how to lean into that and be successful in that will accelerate their ability to really be successful and to progress. If you're ready to drive your business to new heights, then this is also the right place for you to be. Let's talk for just a little bit about what you're going to get in the program. they're right. The way we have it right now, we've outlined six courses, 6 modules, classes that we're going to do. But we might, as we get into this, like Dave mentioned, this is a pilot program, and we really want it to be what you need. We might get it done in 4, and we might take it to 8, depending on what you need. But these are the things that we feel we absolutely want to get in your hands, and we can do more if we need to. So you're going to get a really good understanding of the four core types, what they look like. You're going to get a really in-depth view of what it motivates and inspires each type. You're going to know if you've got a C on your team, you're going to know how to interface with that C, and how to get him or her motivated, and how to help them succeed. How to make the keys to network marketing success work for you. Different temperaments don't create and maintain relationships the same way. What an effective and healthy relationship looks like, or how an R goes about doing that in some ways, is different than how an O goes about doing that. And you're gonna know how to get close to people, how to help people feel seen and valued, and that is super important to all of us. You're gonna learn how to plan, and how to help your team plan. Again, the kind of planning that works for a C is different than the kind of planning that works for an R. There are some really predictable differences there. Effective goal setting, again, based on your what drives and what is going to be a goal. And I'm sure you've experienced this in your businesses here at Isagenix or other places. Typically, when an organization sets goals, they're setting it based on the really the core temperament of and culture of the company, and they're going to expect they're not even, most places aren't even going to think about the fact that might not be the kind of goal that motivates you. And so you might come away from a convention or an event super excited, and then you get back home and you're like, yeah, I don't really care about that objective. And others of you will really be able to drive that. So we'll help you tap into some sustainable goals that will work for your temperament. And then you have no business if you don't do these things, right? If you can't invite and sell and build, then you have no business, even if you really want one. And so we're gonna help you see how core can help you do those things, and in particular in a network marketing kind of environment that has some unique things. So again, this is new territory. I've been doing this for 26 years. I started doing the research on core. Again, I kind of told you that I was frustrated that I had never seen a model that was really getting at what I saw day in and day out as I've worked with thousands of people at this point. And so about 10 years ago, I decided to start collecting data of my own. And I spent 3 years collecting data, and then another 1.5 years analyzing that data, and core is what came out of it. And then I've been writing that up, and because I don't have a lot of R in me, it took me a while to get it written up. But the core book was just released, and some of you may have it, but it was just released about a month ago. And I'm happy to say that we're an international bestseller right now, and so it's been kind of a fun, and it turns out it's really hard to write a book, but it's been a fun process. And do you hear what I say? What my default speech even reflects my O temperament. Who would describe writing a book as fun? Probably only an O, right? But that's the kind of, if something is like successful or positive to me, the word that pops into my brain is fun. That's how I describe it. If Dave were describing something successful or enjoyable, that probably wouldn't be the word that would pop into his mouth.
I would say fulfilling. It was fulfilling.
There you go. Yeah. And so, I mean, this just is in the background, puppeteering almost everything that we do. And most of us are completely unaware that it's even back there puppeteering what we're doing. So by bringing that, we say taking the covert and making it overt, but by taking that from the background and getting it right in front of you, it disempowers a lot of the unhealthiness and really helps to excel. So in this pilot program, I've never, in fact, when Dave and I were talking, I was a little reticent, frankly, but he really wants to get this stuff into your hands. But I've never offered this material in any capacity for the price that I'm offering it to you. The package is worth at least $3,000, and anyway, I am not
And
going
can
to
I
offer
just say some things to that, because I know your onus is gonna, just go past that. But you guys, what I see, and we want to honor Dr. Slade and respect him and his time. All the research and everything that's gone into what he's done is part of that cost of that $3,000. It's like all of his life that's been dedicated to that and sacrificed. And, it's like the plumber that they say comes in and fixes it in 5 minutes, but he charges you $250. Well, because all of that experience enabled him to do that. And so I just want to say, with this pilot program, I believe it's going to work. I believe our business is going to thrive, just like it did in the other program that I feel it was an incomplete program. It still improved people's businesses. I was sad when they took it away, but that's a whole nother issue. So what I foresee for Dr. Slade as well in the future is that we go into a level 2, a level 3. Once it's been proven, the value's there, the cost is going to go up, you guys. It's never going to be like this again. Either we don't do it again because it didn't work, or it works and there's going to be a lot of value behind it that's going to have that cost associated with it. So just so you know that up front, this pilot program, you want to get in as many people on your team into this as you can, because it's never going to be offered like this again. I can guarantee that. So,
sorry. So, and why are we doing it? We've kind of already hit on these, but we really do want to help you succeed. Dave and Carrie both care tremendously about all of you, and are super dedicated to helping you succeed. We want to help you remove the obstacles to your team's success, because we believe in you and because we believe in the products that you're offering. I use Isagenix products, and they're good stuff. You've got a good product, and so those are the reasons why we're doing it. So all it's going to cost you for all 6 classes or 4 to 8 classes is $25, plus the cost of the book. And you can get the ebook if you want to do that, or you can buy the other book. And I'm going to put up a QR code here in just a minute, and that'll take you to a landing page that Emma has prepared. And
if you're excited, you guys put a 1 in the comments, please. Show your appreciation and gratitude. This is a
link here if you want to take a picture of that, or you can get it later. Or here's a QR code that you can hit, and it'll take you to the landing page, and we'll get you taken care of. Emma will get you taken care of. Yes. Exactly.
There's a link in the comments there, you guys. If you're missing that, Emma just put a link in there. Take a picture, take a screenshot, and we'll get this into the Facebook groups as well, which is being recorded into the Forever Pack business right now. We do have a recording of this, so we want you to get your teams, to be able to watch this recording. Forever Pack business.
Great. So that is that's the 411 on the program, and let's just take a few minutes and answer questions.
Well, then just before we unmute everybody, if you guys were tracking and you understand and you see the value of what Dr. Slade's just presented here, there's so much. I mean, I took so much notes and things that I was feeling. And then when you express them, I'm like, yes, we're on the same page. But if you're tracking and understand what he's saying and you're feeling the value of this, type a 5 into the chat box. I just want to get that feedback that you're seeing that value that was conveyed and got across to all the core personalities. And I believe it did. I felt it on my level. And thanks for that feedback, you guys. That's exciting. This is really exciting. How many of you wish you had some of your other team members or people that you know in life too? Can you see how this can flow into every area of your life when you understand your true, your core of who you are, and you start working from that aspect and building that up rather than that facade? So if you can see that as well, put a yes in the comment that you can see how other people could benefit from this besides just Isogenics people.
Well, and I'll tell you 2 areas that it has totally changed my life. And one is in my marriage. I am an OC, and my wife is an RO. And even with, I have 10 years of education and was a practicing therapist for over 20 years. And there were still a lot of things in my relationship that really hurt my feelings, and a lot of things about me that drove my wife nuts. And CORE has revolutionized that, because I understand, and I don't know, it may sound really kind of crazy. I probably should have known before, but understanding why she does the things that she does changes the way that I interpret them, and understanding that changes the effect that they have. And her understanding that, one of the, again, challenges of the O brain is it's difficult to plan for an O, because the O lives in the present. They don't know how they're going to feel when something arrives, and they don't want to commit to something now and then not feel like doing it when the time comes 3 months from now. And an R, where does an R live? An R lives in the future. And so they are always wanting to plan and be ahead of the game. And so my wife has dragged me along in that regard, and we've had a lot of conflict, and that's changed. And then the second area for me is my parenting. I have 5 kids. We have 5 kids, and we have one of each primary temperament. Our family culture has a lot of O in it because both my wife and I have some O. But our youngest child, so our oldest is 25 and our youngest is 8. We have a 17-year spread. We were 42 when we had Eric, and he's a C. He's our only C. And parenting a C is very different than parenting an R or an E. My oldest daughter is an E. Parenting her is very different. And I fear that we probably would have crushed Eric and his C-ness. I'm really grateful that my research happened before we had Eric, because it's really empowered us to be able to parent him in ways that he's needed to be parented, and it's really changed. Anyway, I'm a much better dad because of CORE.
So powerful. I got goosebumps. So just on the details, that QR code and that link is how you guys opt into this. Is that right, Dr. Slade? And it'll require the $25 fee, which is out of respect, you guys. I mean, we got to give him something for his time and everything that he's done. But, I believe this will come full circle. When you give, you receive. And I think we're going to, it'll be such a blessing for everybody.
Say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the other thing too is it's also really clear that, and you probably, I'm sure you all have experienced this, just learning about something is not enough for most of us to change. You can go and you can learn and read, and you can listen to podcasts, and you can do all kinds of stuff and be super jazzed. Again, I've got a TMS business, which is a special treatment for depression. I was at a conference this week and learned lots of great things. And you're super pumped. And then you come home, and who's going to help me implement all of those things that I just learned? And that's what I want you to know, is that's what we're going to do. You're not on your own, and we're going to help you be able to not only learn about CORE, but we're going to help you implement it into your lives and your teams. We're going to hold your hand through the process so that you can really get it incorporated and not just stay where most great ideas and great information stays, which is a great idea, unless you have other certain temperaments.
Yeah, no, this is great stuff. I can't wait to dive into it. And just a couple more details on the housekeeping type of stuff. I made a Facebook group, and Emma, I made you a co-host if you want to chime in on these details. So I'm already seeing questions. Can I subscribe for 2 people? Emma's going to have to answer that. But I made a Facebook group, and once you've opted in, they're going to let me know because it will get your information and your payment. And then I'll add you to that Facebook group, which will be the ongoing throughout the week where Carrie will interact and Dr. Slade and perhaps other people will, it'll be an active thing that's going on in between the 1 week Zoom, which is going to be on Saturday. We decided, Dr. Slade, right? We're going to hold that on Saturday, and we're going to start in 2 weeks. And it will be
The
at this
29th.
time on Saturday. Right.
Yeah.
And so once you've opted in, and Emma, if you want to explain the details of how they can enroll more than one person, and any other details that you're thinking of, we will put you into the Facebook group, and that's where we'll start the interaction. And hopefully we can get as many people into that before we start in 2 weeks. We will start 2 weeks from today. So did you want to add anything on that, Emma? Is there something that you know?
You're more than welcome to enroll for more than one person. We're going to be distributing the Zoom links via email and text. And so if you opt in for someone else, the only negative to that is that I won't have their information in our system to be able to send them the Zoom links and the reminders for the classes coming up. And so if you want to do that, we can do one of 2 things. You can like if you live in the same household and that's what you're talking about, what do you think on that, Dr. Slade? I'll let you.
If you're living in the same house, just have them participate with you.
Yeah, that's typically what we do. So if you're talking about enrolling a spouse, you can do a 2-for-1 there. But if you're talking about someone that lives outside of your home, I'll put my email in the chat. Send me an email and I'll get a setup for you so that you can enroll both of you or however many, and I'll get their email and their phone number so that they can receive the automations along.
And another thing is they could just re-enroll as the other person and just log in twice, right? Hit the QR code, do it, and then hit the QR code again and enroll another person that way, or get the QR code to them and let them do it themselves.
And that's really the best way. If you just want to send, if you just want to send them the link or the QR code, that's going to be the best. And then you're not having to Venmo for the credit card information. You can just have them take care of it themselves.
Yeah. And people are, and again, the questions are coming at 100 miles an hour here. Just, I just want to address one. We are going to record into that Facebook group. We will be streaming into that Facebook group that is a private group and that you will be a part of. And that is the way we will get the recording to people who can't be on the live. And then there's the interaction that you'll have live time throughout the week. So it's not like you're always going to be getting it secondhand. Your questions will be able to be answered and addressed in that Facebook group.
And the structure of the class will be, I think, kind of similar to what you're used to, but the class will be 90 minutes, and we'll take about 60 minutes of instruction and kind of information dissemination, which will also be interactive. And then we'll do question and answer to make sure that it's making sense and that you're getting it in your life. And yes, they'll be recorded. I have a conflict at the end of May. We're going on a family vacation. And so we'll skip a Saturday there. The time will be 9 Mountain, right, Dave?
Yeah. Yep. And Emma's put her email. We'll go into some questions here in just a sec. We promise we'll get to all the questions. But you can email Emma. She just put her email in the chat there. Again, it would be 8 o'clock California time, and then 9 Mountain, 10 Central, and 11 Eastern on Saturday.
It's really cool to see where you all are from. That was kind of fun. I'm glad you had him do that, Dave. It's
yeah, it is
cool
cool.
to see.
So yeah, that's gonna, and it's only gonna be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. So, you know, you just make the sacrifices that you need to make. And like you were saying, you're gonna have a family vacation in that, so we'll skip 1 week, but it's gonna work, you guys. All right, Jojo, I know you had your hand up earlier. Did you have something? Then we'll go to Sally. And if you have a question, just hit the raise your hand up, and we'll get to you.
Just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Slade. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Carrie, when I first started, I've taken the test, I don't know, 6 times, 8 times. I don't know. So as you were developing, I was kind of guinea pigging along the way, right? So I've taken the test a ton of times, and from the color code previously, right? I felt like I wanted to be a blue, like I wanted to be this empathetic. And initially when I first started taking that, I was way high red, high motivated like this. And as I've grown, that's shifted a little bit, but what has never changed is the part of me that's an E. So when Carrie kept telling me that you are an E, like you are such an E, you might be the model E, like, and I could not see that, but it wasn't until she said to me, every single room you walk into, you go, oh, this is how this could be better. This is how I could move this to make this better. Every single time we drive somewhere, every single thing you do is always about making something better every time. She said, that's why I sit back and let you do that detail piece of it. And I watch you, because there's no way I could do that. And always ever, like, I can't tell if I had $1 for every time I said, that's just not fair, or how do we make this more fair? If there's a pie, I want everyone to have exactly the same size pie. If there's a pile of raisins, everyone gets the same amount. It's how I've been my whole life. So that it's just funny now that I see those things, because I totally fought against that, because I was like, there's no way that that's how I am, but it's totally how I am. So,
and like you said there too, that's impacted your marriage and how you see things. Like Dr. Slade was saying, it totally changes how you react to things, and that has an effect.
Well, imagine being in a car with an E, right? Even R, even E. So I see exactly the perfect way to get there, the perfect lane to drive in, the perfect way to do it. Like everything it's always, and I go, how do you not see that? Right?
And you were operating as a C, right? That's so frustrating. You know, you were operating as a C. You were treating everybody as a C. It wasn't your authentic place to really be able to operate from. Yeah,
so
it's huge.
And so now that I see it, you know, because it could totally sound like a criticism, because I'm constantly trying to improve things. So when you're improving things, then could that mean that something's wrong, right? So now you're wrong because I'm trying to improve it, when that's just how my brain works.
There's a really fine line between something could be better and it's not good enough, right? When your e-brain goes to it's not good enough, then you feel like a failure. You feel, or those around you feel like they're failing. Very different than the improvement angle of, hey, this could make it even better. That's a really good point. I also thought of the detail right now, which is, I should have thought of this before, but Emma, Bob, I think, asked a good question in there about taking the assessment. Is that in the?
I wanted to get on here. So I just put another link in the chat. So I included the enrollment link again, but I also included a link to the core assessment. Dr. Slade has worked so hard on this assessment, and he keeps it free. Like, there's no cost to taking this assessment, because we want you all to take it. And so go hop on, take it a dozen times if you're trying to mess with your results. Get your friends to take it. When you learn about core and then somebody walks up to you and they're talking to you, you're like, oh, such an E, such a C, such an O, incredible. And so take it, get your friends to take it. And so I included a link to the assessment in the chat. I actually have to hop off.
Thanks,
Emma.
Thank you, Emma.
So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions that aren't covered in this, if they don't get covered in this, reach out to me and either I'll answer them or I'll pass them off to Dr. Slade, and so we can get a good response for you. Okay. It was great to meet you all.
Thanks, Emma.
Thanks, Emma.
Hey, real quick, Dr. Slade, on like what Jojo was talking about too, like when we realize where we're operating from, if you take a thermometer and turn it sideways, if we're operating on that on the negative side of that personality, what this course will help us do is not change who you are, just learn and identify, kind of name it to tame it, and being able to see it where you can start to operate on the other end of that same spectrum where you get the positive results, right? Is that
Yes.
what this course will do for people?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. You are not going to get any tools to help you be a different core temperament.
Yeah. That's
And,
exciting.
and yeah, what you're going to do is you're going to learn. We will talk a lot about that because there are very predictable challenges that come with each temperament type and combinations, right? And that the combination piece will be in a future training. But like, like I said, I'm an O and I'm married to an R. There are going to be predictable challenges in that are going to be different than if I was married to an E or a C. And so understanding those and how to work with those is super powerful also.
Yeah. So on the book, did those links contain a link to the book? Because I know it's available on Amazon. There's an actual hard copy, which I got here. Also, I bought the electronic version. Is there a link there? And is the cost like $7 or something like that for the book?
Yeah, so for the ebook, it's $6.95 or something on Amazon, and the hard or the paperback, if you want that, is like $19.90 something. It's about $20. And so yeah, I don't have an audio version yet. We keep getting asked for that, but
That'll come eventually.
It'll come.
Okay, so
I know someone that can support you with that, so talk to me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Sally. She's had her hand up, and then we'll go to Vicky. Sally, let me click you there. You should be able to unmute. Can you unmute, Sally? If not, I'll make you a co-host. That's usually the way I do it, but can you see the little microphone on the bottom left? I made you a co-host, so you should be able to unmute. Unless she's distracted right now, she might be.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go to Vicky and then we'll come back. Vicky, there you go.
Two things. First of all, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Slade. And I'm aware of your work, but just the value you're providing for us and this is priceless. My question is, and you answered it a bit for me, one challenge is inviting, let's say. So I've thought of a couple of other people though to invite to this group that are not in isogenics. And so marriage, and then when you brought up kids, totally thought of someone. So other than what you've listed as a benefit for isogenics, do you have a couple of more things to throw in that I might use some
verbiage? Selling points for your friends and family, some bullet points.
Yeah. Do you know what your temperament type is?
CO.
Okay. Yeah. So coming from that, so C's do really well when they feel comfortable, right? And so having an intimate conversation and saying, hey, I found something that has been really helpful to me. And when you, again, making the covert overt, one of the great tools for a C is to share what's going on kind of under the surface. Hey, I don't want this to sound salesy. I don't want you to feel like I'm, trying to make you do something. I just want you to know that, this is really cool to me. And if you want to do it, awesome. That kind of a warm invite like that. And really almost anytime, if you can ask yourself, what do I want? What do I hope they hear from what I'm saying? And then say that. I have people in my office all the time who say, I really hope that I can help so-and-so understand this. And my answer is then say that. Because when you give somebody when you tell them how you hope that they receive you, they almost always will receive you that way. And then we'll get into more specifics on that. But does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. That added something right there. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Sally says she can't unmute. Let me try making you a co-host one more. Oh, you already are a co-host. So if you
Sally,
can't.
do you want to write it? You want to write your question?
Yeah, she said, I'll figure that out for next time, but I want to thank you so much for offering this course, Dr. Slade. I'm so looking forward to this. Yeah, if you can type your question in, we're gonna just be a couple more minutes and then we're gonna jump off. And
So all of the links, so the links to be able to email Emma with questions, the links for the book, the links for the course, the links for the assessment, everything is posted on the Forever Pack business page and in the comments of the live stream. So if you need any of them, they're all there, because you can either copy the chat, make sure that you copy the chat before we go if you want all the links that are there, or you can go on the Forever Pack business page and get that. But once the Zoom is off, you'll lose the chat. So if you want to save the chat, click on where the little chat box is. Down at the bottom, you'll see 3 dots. So you see your little text in your file and your emoji symbol. Then there's 3 dots. If you click on that, it says save chat. You can choose which chat you want to save, and that will save it into your little, like into the PDF into your computer, so you can back and read it if you need to.
Don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. Again, I want to support you through this. I don't want people to get sort of a half understanding of this and run. Those R's of you, because if you can really get it, you can really be effective with it. And so I really want you to get the support to be able to really sink your teeth into it and have it change your relationships.
So you have a question that, do you recommend that we take the test multiple times? Since I said that was probably not a correct thing to say. So,
so it kind of depends. In general, no. When you take it, really try to focus. So one of the challenges with assessing this is that we're not getting at just behaviors, right? You can take any one behavior and every temperament will do the same behavior for a different reason. And so what we're trying to get at is the underlying reasons why you do what you do. And that's why the questions on the assessment are the way that they are. And so really think about, so which of these does apply to what's going on under the surface in me? And if you get through and you're like, I don't think I really answered that well, take it again. But the assessment statistically works really well. So, anyway, and if you have any questions on that, you can ask me also.
I think somebody wants to know what you would say to an R about being part of the group. Like, do you have a verbiage that would be a good direction for an R?
I'm not sure I understand the question, like being.
So if you know somebody's a potential R, how would I present this opportunity?
So that they join the course that we're going to be doing.
Okay.
In weeks.
So ours jump to conclusions really quickly. The R brain is revving at like 6,000 RPMs. And so you get halfway into a sentence and the RRD will jump to the end of the sentence. And so quick, fast, hey, this will help. These are the benefits. If you're sending a text, send bullet points. It will help you, understand yourself better. It will help you be more successful in your relationships. I mean, just quick. I mean, Dave, what would
you don't know what you don't know, and there's some new information that's come out that will take your life to the next level. Help you to take other people's lives to the next level. New information, it's breakthrough. Then they start.
Ours are motivated. Ours are motivated by results, right? Resolution, results, movement.
Give you some new information, some new tools. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Slade. You guys give a shout out in the chat box, and just so grateful for you doing this pilot program with us. And let's get out there and let's invite our teams and people that and just really let's make this pack. I'd love to have a couple hundred people in on this and really cause that ripple effect. And I know that as we go through it, even those that you know, there's certain personality traits. Well, I'm going to do it first, right? And then I'll see if it works. So
Right.
I know it's going to mushroom and get bigger and bigger because the information that's going to be contained and the growth that's going to happen. That happened with the growth U with Isagenix. It got bigger and it swelled and got bigger and bigger and just, you know, really consuming. So, but let's see what we can do on this first go through and inviting people that weren't here today to get this information. If you're not in the Forever Pack business group, you have to have somebody who's a friend with you on Facebook invite you into that group. It's very private. And so you have to be friends before you can invite somebody into that group. And then it has to be approved. So if you're going to do that, make sure you do it right away so you have time. We'll get started in 2 weeks. So the next time we hear from Dr. Slade, other than perhaps in the Facebook group that we started, is in 2 weeks, right?
Yep. Let me say one more thing too. This first go around as we're doing this, invite anybody that you want. They don't have to be part of the Isagenix family. You know, if you've got kids or spouses or whatever, take advantage of this. I'm doing it anyway. And I won't do it for $25 again. But I'm doing it anyway. So let's get as many people as we can together and I don't care where they come from.
Exactly.
It's not going to be any more work for me.
And Patricia, we're not going to Zoom she private messaged me. We're not going to Zoom into the Forever Pack group. The course will be Zoomed into the ISA Core Level 1 group that I've already created. So, and you guys will be added to that as you opt in with that QR code. Yeah. Somebody asked if we'll put the QR code up again. Do you want to just share your screen and show that? And then we'll just, I'm going to unmute everybody. If you want to give a shout out to Dr. Slade for doing this for us.
Thank you.
Let me
Thank
Hey,
you.
and
I'd
remember
like to
everybody
have
that
him-
all of the links are on the Forever Pack page. So if there's anything that you need, I mean, it's great to have the QR code right now and that's up on the screen. But if you need to have the link,
Whoops, sorry, Jojo, I just muted you out. You can unmute. Everybody can unmute. Sorry about that.
it's there on the page if you need to get it. So just look at the comments under the live stream and all of the info is there.
All right, you guys, you can, if you want to unmute and give a shout out and thank Dr. Slade, I think you can unmute now. But again, thanks a lot, everyone, and have a great Saturday.
So much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Dr. Slade.
Thanks, Dr.
Thank you.
Slade, and thanks,
So
Dave, for
very
putting this
good.
together.
Yes.
Yes,
you.
Dave, thanks for putting
Thank
this
you
together.
Forward to
all.
working with you.
It's a
Have a good
treat.
weekend.
You
Great
too.
weekend, everybody.
Be safe. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Very
we'll see you
grateful.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, too.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. This beautiful meeting. Great. You guys pull it off every time.
Thank you.
Thank you.